Good day to you, my friends. I'm Kenator, and today we're going to have a look at what we're getting in terms of creative building and customization in Starfield. We just got a space freighter load of info dropped this weekend on Starfield, and what stood out to me the most was the huge amount of creative customization you could do in this game, from character creation, base building, and even ship customization. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into, kicking off with my favourite, the spaceships. Because damn it, I bloody love some nice looking spaceships. Now if you're going to explore the universe, one simple fact is that you're going to need a spaceship. And up till now, Starfield has only really shown off the one design for the player to use. And you know, this made sense. The ship was a highly detailed asset for the game, designed inside and out. It looked worn and lived in. And along with many others, I thought it would be like a character or icon within the game itself, something you care for and live in. But oh boy were we wrong. In fact, I'm really freaking thankful we were wrong. As revealed in the Summer of Gaming showcase from Bethesda, it won't just be customizable, as in choosing the weapons or just swapping out a power module that changes some stats. They have gone the full hog and created many different modular assets that completely change the look and feel of your ship, as well as change what it can do, how much it can carry, and most likely how it flies too. Not only will we have multiple different parts with different purposes, they are from different manufacturers for these too. So you'll be able to combine these to get either a certain spec that you want or entirely change the look of your spaceship. Not only that, you can paint all of these parts too to really make the ship your own. Now let's take a closer look at what we have here. The UI first. In the top left we have the power meters, and from left to right we have 3 weapon power meters for any laser, ballistic or missile weapons, engine power, shield power, and the grav drive to warp off to other planets or systems. These meters show how much power they need, not how good they are, so higher is not always better here. Below that we have the reactor itself, in which higher is better, and then the stats for the reactor are just below that, showing its class with a letter followed by its max output. To the right of that, how much your ship needs to run all its systems. Top right is the credit balance of the vendor for selling parts, of course, your own balance, and how much your spending spree is going to cost you. At the bottom of the screen we have the rest of the stats, starting once again with ammo counts for the weapon systems. Hull and shield HP is up next, followed by cargo capacity, maximum crew complement, more on that in a bit, its jump range in light years, its mobility rating, which will dictate how fast it can turn, and its top speed is, well, you guessed it, top speed. And finally you have the mass of the ship, which will be important, as if you underspec your thrusters you might not even be able to take off. However, if there is a problem with your ship setup, these numbers will turn red to identify where the problem is. So these ships are put together from different modules from different in-universe companies, and all of these have different stats. And we get to see a few of these too. We have this cockpit module from Nova Galactic, which can give us cargo space, support for 2 crew, as well as a health of 9. It also has its own mass value, so you can choose parts based on that too if you want to. And finally its cost. There's also something that I've not seen on all components, and that is this required skill section at the bottom. It's going to be fascinating and exciting to see what sort of higher level parts might be locked behind late game skills. So it's not just going to be money stopping you from kitting out your beast of a ship. This thruster is from Relodyne, and this one is missing the skill requirement that the previous item had. So this seems like a simpler upgrade you could do, which is great because it has quite a few more stats that can affect your ship. Next up is this grav drive fuel pod from Nautilus, which will carry the helium-3 needed to perform a jump. Having more of this will give you the range needed to explore further or longer before requiring a refuel. Back to Nova Galactic again for this lander module. You're going to be wanting more than just one of these if you want to land your ship without crashing. You can also see that some modules have attachment points on themselves to further expand too. As we can see, there is a laser weapon mounted on the top of this one. You can see when picking parts like this reactor, there is a selection menu that will come up on the right hand side, which shows a whole range of options from different manufacturers, price points and power output amounts. But this shot also shows us that there is large connection points, with the big light blue circles, as well as the obvious 8 contact points on the module itself. This means you might actually be able to stack some of these up sideways and make yourself a wider ship instead of just a longer one. And I'm dying to see what the upper limits of your personal ship look like in Starfield. It's just going to be epic. But the customization does not stop there. Unlike some other games that might give you a limited choice of colour, you can paint each module individually and with the full colour palette. And you have over 3 distinct areas, and it will record a whole bunch of your recently used colours so you don't have to try and match each part manually. This system just feels very well thought out and, most importantly, user friendly. It lets you put together something amazing without needing a degree in aerospace engineering. And we are also treated with a range of extremely different designs that the game can produce. And if you think this is a pretty cool level of variety, just wait till modders get a hold of this game and start adding all sorts of new parts and equipment. I'm calling it now, someone is going to do Expanse style parts. It's too good not to remake the Rossi, am I right? I'd also love to know more about the crew we can get for our ships. Do they have upkeep cost? Do they just man systems or weapons? Or do they have stats that can improve the performance of your ship? Sadly, we don't yet have the answers to these questions, but we do know crew is also used in the outpost building aspect too. So let's check out the process. First up, when we're going to deploy a new outpost, you're greeted with a small area scan showing what is nearby. If this all looks good to you, then you can deploy a beacon from here, which claims this plot of land. Outpost building comes with its own designer mode, just like the ships do, with a similar layout. We're choosing parts on the right hand side from different categories and stats on the bottom. Power is also in the top left, along with its build cost, which at least for this example only needs aluminium and iron. Looking more closely at the right hand side, we can see a few dashes under the name of the category, and this looks like different pages you can flip through for buildings, of which there is 12. And if they all have 9 or 10 options in them, this could mean a huge selection. But as we can see from the names, however, some of these will just be different size versions of the same thing. You'll be using this outpost, and possibly others too, to research science, store cargo or military assets, grow food for your crew to live off of, and on top of this there's also a production rate in the bottom stat list too. This might be anything from fuel and ammo for your ship to mined resources while you're away. Not everything has to be one big complex too, with things like storage containers outside, watchtowers, radar, along with wind and solar power, which can all be dotted around your claimed area. Picking the right spot for your base is definitely going to be a key choice. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around. I'm definitely going to be making more Starfield videos in the future, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell if you like what you saw, and hit the thumbs up on your way out. Until next time, Kenator out.